we have to be able to negotiate what the value that we have for the services that we provide.
Right. We just can't hide from the conversation anymore. I'd get this out to, anybody who wants to hear this video, share it out there and get it out there, because the more we can spread this the right way to do the business, the less lawsuits that we'll have to be freaking out about. Hey everybody, welcome to the show today. I'm really excited to talk about something that is very fresh and big in the news. It's this daunting dark cloud that has been hovering above us that we are going to break through and give you some sunlight on today. And it's all this NAR and national real estate company brand lawsuits that are going on that are alleging price fixing and commission bias, and that's leaving us all a little bit perplexed on what to do. And I have just a solution for you, and it's certainly not me. It is the wonderful Andrea Sheridan. Andrea, welcome to the show today.
Hello.
Thank you so much for being here. I am very proud to say that Andrea is an ICC coach. She coaches with us, and she coaches a lot of clients. She's got amazing experience running some really large brokerages, has recruited tons of agents, has amazing at instilling productivity measures in different real estate teams and brokerages across the country. But what you may not know is Andrea is kind of an expert with regards to compliance because of all the lofty positions she's held. What are some of those positions that you've held with NAR and?
Yeah, so I am just this year the immediate past president of the Missouri Association of Realtors, and I am serving this year on the National Association of Realtors in regulatory issues. Sounds really exciting, and it actually is.
Yeah, and you've been the president of the Kansas City Association of Realtors too, I believe, and all that. So thank you for selling your hands and getting down here in the muck with all of us money-hungry agents and coaches and clients and all.
Somebody has to be at the table fighting for our industry, and I'm happy to do it.
Well, we better you than me. I appreciate you doing that, as you well know. So we have this issue, and we as a coaching company hear it, and everybody's out there like, how do we protect ourselves? Like, what are we doing to protect ourselves from this type of litigation? So we're not named, so we don't get different, lawsuits against us, because it is definitely putting a lot of ideas in people's heads out there. We got agents being threatened in listing tables because they're getting empowered by the national media, and they're saying, well, you need to come down in price or I'm going to sue you, and things like that. And I'm not sure that's right, but what do we do? Like, what can we do to protect ourselves in this scenario?
So Chief Legal Counsel for the National Association of Realtors, Katie Johnson, she is urging all of us as real estate professionals to be clear and be concise when we are explaining to our consumers how commission works. Gone are the days where buyer's agents can say, I work for you for free. You've never worked for anybody for free. It has been part of the sales price anyway. And when we're talking to our sellers, there's ways that we can even, we're going to talk about today, decoupling the listing agent commission and the buyer agent commission so they fully understand how everything works.
Okay, I like that. I like that. Yes, I will. Before we get there, I do, because I think that is something that I convinced. We're going to actually give you a listing presentation script here that you can use that is compliant with a NAR Chief Legal Counsel and NAR that will help with that. But before we do that, I want to start on the buyer's side very quickly, because you did touch on that. And this is something that's near and dear to my heart, which doesn't always align with NAR practices, as I'm sure we all know. But this one really does. It is so fun to hear NAR saying what we've always said. You should always use exclusive buyer agency agreements. I mean, it makes me want to cry out my eyeballs because of all the different people that have said, that have been resistant to using those. They're people pleasers, and they don't want to make the person across from them commit to them. But what they're
Brian, would you want to go into a surgery and then after the surgery they tell you, oh, it's going to be $15,000? No, you want to know that up front. Same with our buyers. They would need to know that information up front before they buy a house.
That's exactly right. And that's what's on there. It clearly explains your expectations. It clearly explains, here is our agency relationship. Here is how much I'm getting paid. here are our obligations, which to me, if I'm getting into any business relationship with anyone, I want to know the rules of the game. I want those to be explained. I don't want you to do it for 45 minutes, but I do want to know, and I want to be able to read it later maybe, or at least hear, the general details of it right now. But the people that are resistant to doing that, we have got to get over ourselves as professionals. And I know from my experience, it's by far the majority of agents that do not use them. And it's because they're too afraid to explain their relationship. And it's those same agents that then call clients, unloyal or cheaters because they went and used somebody else. But you never explained the relationship. You never used a buyer's agency agreement. So when you're saying that buyers are liars and they're cheaters and they work directly with the listing agent or directly with the builder or something and didn't work with you, did you do your part and clearly explain the relationship that you expect from them? It blows my mind. So I just want to say that. Thank you, NAR. Thank you, all associations of realtors. Thank you, everyone. I apologize for anything I've ever said that was bad about what you do, because that is so huge. And we've been fighting this fight for a very long time. And hopefully now the fear of lawsuits and litigation is what does it and makes people do it. Because now that is a reason to get your agents to use these things mandatorily every single time. So I'm so thrilled about that. But now let's do what we promised. Andrea, how would you like to explain this listing commission script in a way that is safe from
so I would say we just walk through it. So I'm going to pretend you are my Mr. Seller. So Brian, we've been over our marketing plan. And as you look at that marketing plan, are you happy with how we are going to market your property to get you the most exposure to buyers? Do you feel that it's going to do that job?
Yeah, it does seem like it's pretty good to me. Everything you do seems to be what I'd expect. So yeah, I'm good with that.
Okay. And I know you've interviewed a couple other agents. Was there anything missing from our marketing plan that you'd like to see us do to attract buyers to your home?
No, I mean, you covered just about everything. That's why I asked the questions I asked. I mean, it seems like you've got it covered. That's for sure.
Perfect. And so we also went through the comparisons for your home. So we went through the active homes for sale, the ones that have already sold, that were pending or under contract, and you selected a price that will cause your home to sell. So we've already made those decisions. So the only other decision that I have for you guys tonight is to think about how we want to incentivize a buyer's agent when they bring a buyer to your home. So my professional marketing service fee is X%. So that is what I use to cover all of the marketing that I do for your home. So then we also have to decide when a buyer's agent brings a ready, willing, and able buyer to your home, how do we want to compensate them? So of the 3 comparisons that we looked at, one was offering X% commission to a buyer's agent. The second comparison was offering X.5. So they were giving them 0.5% more than option 1. And then option 3 was actually offering Y. Right. So of those 3 comparisons, which one do you think a buyer's agent is going to work harder for?
Well, I think definitely the one that pays more money, but here's my concern. I got this buddy and, he said he'd do it for a lot less. He's got a real estate license and he said he'd do it for a lot less. And so I wouldn't have to pay all that.
That's totally fair. Having a buddy is a great thing to have. My question for you is, was he going to be taking that out of the marketing? Was he going to be cutting some of his marketing? Or was he going to be jeopardizing the sale of your property by not incentivizing a buyer's agent to bring a great buyer to your house and get you the best price for your house?
Yeah, come to think of it, I don't know the answer to that. I don't know. He just said he'd do it for less and gave me a total percentage that he would do it for. So I don't know where he was cutting. I don't want to pay a lot of money here.
No, I get that. So Brian, I totally get where you're coming from. And my concern would be that if he's cutting some of your marketing, you're not going to bring the great buyers to your property. And if he's cutting you short on what he's willing to incentivize a buyer's agent with, that you're not going to get the best price for your house. So are you looking for the best price for your house or the cheapest you can get it done?
Yeah, I think I want to make the most amount of money. There's no doubt about it. So I could see that. So you make a good point. And I think I'll stop there so we don't have to, I mean, that's excellent. Because I do think that's the point. If they start trying to negotiate your commission based upon this.
Well, and then you ask them, okay, cool. Like if it's about saving money, let's go back to the marketing plan. What of the marketing plan would you like me to take out?
Correct. It needs to be about their net proceeds, right? And and I think that's the conversation. Don't we make that always in real estate? I mean, we make it with, agent commission splits too. People say, well, I don't want a low commission split. Well, it's really about the net income you make. And if you come to my, let's say, real estate team, even though you're on a, let's say, 50% commission or, commission split, if I enable you to sell 30 houses a year and you're only selling 5, you're going to make more net income with me despite your savings per sale. And I think the same thing is true here. Is real estate professionals need to get good at showing their value by explaining what's really important to you is not how much you save, it's about your net proceeds.
That's the smarter math equation.
Right. Would you go? Yeah. And it's very true. I mean, would you go to Nordstrom's and pay $300 for a coat and get 10% off? Or would you rather, go to Marshall's and see the same coat for $30 and pay full price? That's, I don't know. Am I showing my age? Is Marshall's even still around? I don't even know. That was the Nordstrom
TJ Maxx.
That's probably better. Yeah. But yeah, no, I think that's a great way to put it too. And it's safe. I mean, I think that's a great script for even before all the lawsuit fear came around. I think it really explains it well.
I love explaining my listing not as a commission. What I earn is my marketing fee. So a professional, they're okay with paying professional fees. Why are we not explaining our services as a professional marketing fee, which is what it is?
Yeah, and most forms out there, when you're going through compensation forms, like whether it's a commission agreement or a listing agreement where it actually explains, and literally it's, a lot of them will actually show how much you're paying to the buyer's agent. And that's a great time to explain that, is point it out and explain, here's how much our charge, here's how much they charge. And what that does is that makes them not think that you're getting this huge windfall of them paying you this big number, which I really do like. So I like how this breaks it down. I think it works. I don't think it's going to hurt anyone's listing appointment to listing contract conversion ratios at all by using this thing. So
the thing that you want to be aware of and have the scripts for is when they come back to you and say, oh, well, I want to take off, X% from what we're incentivizing a buyer's agent with, and then make sure you're holding up the evidence to say, hey, this will hurt you.
Yes.
So if you're wanting to discount what you're paying a buyer's agent, here's how it doesn't work in your favor. Because if they just say, nah, I don't want to pay them anything, okay, that's going to hurt you.
Isn't that if we're showing someone comps, that is an actual component of the comps that needs to be brought up. I don't know how, if we're conditioning someone ahead of time for this conversation, shouldn't we also be educating them while we're conditioning them on what other people are charging? Because it's what they're up against. It's what they're up against in a big, big way. So I think trying to show people, hey, this is what other people are paying, and it varies all over the place. I wish some juries knew that, but you
can go down a rabbit hole with
agents charge and what, it's commissions are extremely negotiable. Again,
well, if they were to say, well, why doesn't the buyer just pay that themselves? You can have that conversation and say, in that buyer agency agreement, they typically are saying that they would be willing to pay their buyer's agent, but think about that. We are limiting the number of buyers who would come to your property if that wasn't already bundled into the price.
That's right.
Because they may not have the extra cash to pay their buyer's agent. That's why it's structured the way that it is.
And we can say one of the reasons the majority of the people are choosing the higher percentage amount is because they know success leaves clues. It's up to us to pick them up. Literally they know the more exposure your house gets, the more showings, the increased likelihood you're going to get offers. And that's our job, is to increase that exposure. That's what you're hiring me for, is to initially get the exposure out to get you the most offers at the highest price possible. Success leaves clues out there as to what your competition's doing. It's whether you want to be as competitive with them or not. And I think they'll see that. It doesn't even need to come out of your mouth. I think they'll see it by looking at what everyone else is doing, and that will make them feel comfortable in doing it.
And commissions are negotiable, like they always have been. They probably always will be, because it's the law, and we have to be able to negotiate what the value that we have for the services that we provide. Explain your value. People are willing to pay it.
Right. We just can't hide from the conversation anymore. We can't.
We shouldn't have been in the first place. And yet, here we go.
That's correct. Well, it's a little kick in the pants actually isn't that bad of an idea. And I think it really helps a lot. So Andrea, thank you so much for being on this today and sharing your wisdom with all of us. You know, that this is a script. We're going to use your script verbatim because I love it, and dishing that out to all our clients and hopefully people who watch this too. Spread the word, share this thing. Because
train your people. Yeah.
Right. I'd get this out to, anybody who wants to hear this video, share it out there and get it out there, because the more we can spread this the right way to do the business, the less lawsuits that we'll have to be freaking out about, because we have the power to increase the professionalism within our own industry. So I really appreciate you doing your part in that, Andrea.
Okay.
All right, guys. Thanks a lot. I appreciate you being here. We'll see you next time.